may be hard to believe, but we're already heading into summer. And for many families with preschoolers, that means one big question is looming. Is my child ready for kindergarten? Preparing young children for school doesn't have to be stressful. In fact, it's supposed to be fun. Karen Coltrane, President and CEO of the Children's Museum of the Lowcountry and museum educator Kevin Powers are here with tips on how you can support your child's learning at home. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Great to have you, Kevin. Welcome to the couch.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
I'm excited to bring Kevin. I think he was supposed to come for Pirate and Princess Day, and it snowed, and we didn't end up doing that. So I've been just waiting because the more of the world that knows Kevin, the better off the world is, in my humble opinion.
I love that.
He's our employee that gets fan mail. 13 years, veteran of the Children's Museum of the Lowcountry, degree in early childhood education, working on his master's. So Kevin and Misty and Ariel, our educators, are all at an amazing caliber. I've run several children's museums and best team I've worked with.
That's incredible. You must love what you do.
I do. It's a lot of fun. I get to see a lot of smiling faces and see a lot of growth and change as the kids grow up.
Oh, I love that. Well, speaking of growth and change, that's what we're talking about today.
That is what we're talking about.
Preparing our children for kindergarten. This can be kind of daunting.
It can be, and a lot of parents are, concerned about it and wonder, should I hold them back? Should I start? What should I do? So there's a lot of resources out there to help parents figure that out, but I thought we could just quickly touch on some things. Most of them are not academic. And I know parents focus on that, but they're social emotional, because I've said 100 times on here that the key success in school is not IQ, it's the ability to self-regulate and control yourself. So lots of academic studies supporting that. We see that. You can tell probably on the first day who's got that down and who doesn't.
Yep, as soon as they get out of the car.
Kindergarten teachers often talk about that too, that's something they see immediately. So the areas to support quickly would be language and communication, and most parents do this anyway, but a lot of open-ended questions, right? I mean, what do you think is going to happen next while they're doing something? And you just have to condition yourself and practice as a parent to get in the habit of, why do you think your friend felt that way? Instead of, don't be upset, which is probably a parent's natural inclination, right? But to step back and kind of have them analyze and think about somebody else's emotions, because that helps them think about theirs. Fine motor skills. We have a long-running joke both at the museum and here about our inability to cut with scissors. We missed that day. We didn't have Kevin to help.
Yeah, you should have came to preschool at the Children's Museum.
I really should have, because I missed that memo. But yes, so fine motor skills, critically important, because you can't pick up a pen, you can't work a keypad, you can't do all the things you do until you have that down. Social skills, really important. Taking turns. We see this in the grocery store every day in the museum. Waiting to be in front of the green screen in the TV station at the Children's Museum. So that kind of thing. And tied with that is attention span. So kids naturally kind of, some move from thing to thing, and some can really get engrossed. And I always encourage, but I'm sure Kevin does too on the floor, when you see a child that's really engrossed, a lot of times parents will say, well, let's go to the next exit, because the mom's sick of standing there, understandably. But I always try to remind them that let them go deep on something, because that is building that ability to focus, and we all could benefit.
Especially with all the media consumption now, and everything's fast, fast. So if you can get them to focus on something a little longer, that's going to help them.
And that's one of the reasons, like when we do programs, Kevin designs programs, and Misty and Ariel for the children in camp and different programs, and that gets them using their minds, their imaginations, and materials in front of them. So like some of the things we've shown on here with the science experiments. And then self-help skills, which I think most parents are pretty good about this, because you do want them more independent. But zipping up your own coat and encouraging tying shoes, although everything's Velcroed now. So Children's Museum has always been supportive of this period of life. That's why they were invented more than 100 years ago. The Brooklyn Children's Museum was the first. 300 across the country now. But we're getting ready to take it a step further, so I wanted to bring Kevin and break the news.
We're breaking news.
And you've already been talking about preschool today. We are going to start a Children's Museum-based preschool. and our educators will be the educators for the kids. So you really aren't going to get better than this.
Oh, awesome.
And it's totally play-based, which is how children learn. And inside the museum, and Kevin and Misty are working and embedding the lessons into the exhibits and using the exhibits for that reason. Kevin, do you want to talk about some of the things you're planning?
Yeah, so we will we'll be having morning meetings, we'll be doing lots of read-alouds and discussions, but we'll also be going into the museum and really getting hands-on with all the subjects that we are learning and incorporating them within the exhibits as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
incredible.
So having the a lot of children's museums are moving to this.
Okay.
For instance, I know Miami is always the one that gets held up. Has a really robust preschool attached to the children's museum, and we are not a huge museum, so we won't have a lot of seats for this. But for the family that really understands the value of play-based learning. And whose travels make this easy for them. It's going to be a half-day program for 3- and 4-year-olds, and I'll have more details next week.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to be able to talk to Kevin since he's the guy helping pull it together.
Yes, and I've been at the museum for 13 years, and then my coworker, who will be the co-teacher, Miss Misty, she's has 10 years of preschool experience before coming to the museum, so we both are really excited about
You guys got
seeing
it
with
down.
these.
Yeah, because we serve
Congratulations.
so many kids in great ways in the exhibit. This is a chance to go deep with, and make sure this little cohort is ready for kindergarten.
You guys are
no doubt
doing
about it. They're not going to spend time with Kevin and Misty and not be ready for kindergarten.
So excited. So you guys can email that email right there on your screen, community@explorecml.org, to learn a little bit more about this preschool. But Karen will be back next week sharing more details.
Yep.
So excited to hear all about this. Congratulations, you guys. It's a new era at the Children's Museum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's gonna be awesome.
Thanks for letting us talk about it.
Of course. Can't wait to hear more next week.
Sounds good.
Tune in.